Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Ripple Effect Podcast. I am so glad that you have joined us, whether you're listening to this on the go or watching this here. We are so glad that you are with us. On my right hand, I have Miss Dawn Beaverson joining us in the studio, and on my left, I have Mr. Levi Black. Thank you for being here, and I'm happy to be back because it has been a couple weeks since I've been gone, and so I'm glad to be back in action. Before we get to the top three, TLCC top three, and the spotlight of the week, we got to give you the sponsor of the week, and the sponsor of the week this week is Umbrella.
An umbrella.
I know why.
Why is it unlucky to open an umbrella inside?
Put your eye out.
Is that what that is? Is that
I've
what
never heard that before.
I don't know.
This is one of the umbrellas that we have out in the lobby, and it's
It's a nice one.
it's
The
huge.
fancy one.
Last night, did you wake up at all to the sirens?
Okay. No.
You slept right through it.
No. I woke up from my phone going off, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
insanely loud.
Very loud, yeah.
Yeah, I woke up with my phone going off. Well, actually, Laura's phone went off at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to go straight back to bed. But Laura was like, I think we should probably,
Go somewhere.
maybe we should do something. Like, are we going to be safe or whatever? And I was so tired. I was just like, no, we'll be fine.
No.
And then, so we got up. And then the sirens started going off. But we still didn't really do anything. We were hanging out to see if there was actually anything.
We had lunch
happening.
today. We had lunch today with some people that came in, our missions team that came in, and one of them said that she was too tired and she thought, it's a good day to die. I'm going back to bed. It's a good day to die. Dawn, did you wake up to the sirens?
I did. They just recently put new tornado sirens right next to our house.
Right
so
by our house.
we woke up. Yes, we
They were
did.
No mishap.
And then it would go off and we'd start to go back to sleep. And it came on
Kick
three
back
more
on.
times. So we woke up, yes.
So odds are you either heard about or woke up to your phone going off or the sirens going off, and I'm grateful that at least in our area we didn't have anything other than some branches maybe that were down. We have a little trampoline that got moved like a couple feet over, and that was all fine. But we did wake up, and my children were worried we were going to lose the trampoline. So at like 2:30 in the morning, I'm outside pulling the trampoline, the bigger one, to where the anchors are to anchor it down. Anyway, it was a whole thing. But we're glad that we're safe.
Yes.
We're glad you're safe.
We are.
And we're glad we have umbrellas when the weather gets bad. And if you had something interesting happen to you, maybe you lost something, maybe a goat flew away from your house, post it in the comments. We'd love to hear. If something happened to you during the wind last night. I always love watching the news channel or the weather channel when a storm is happening, particularly when it's not a bad storm, because they have to kind of make up stuff. They're like, we're registering 30-mile-an-hour winds. And I was like, that's not that big of a deal.
Typical
Right.
Missouri day right there.
I think the highest I heard was 60. But I was still like, that's not like
I think they said
earth-shattering.
that was down by Jeff City. But,
Yeah. Anyway, we're glad that everybody's safe, and everybody will just go to bed early tonight. Is that the plan?
so.
I hope so too, as well.
Try that.
All right, well, let's recap this past Sunday. We hope that you were here at church on Sunday. If you weren't, let's give you a little recap of what went on. We started our Money Matters series, and if that seems out of the blue to you that we would start in 1 Corinthians and all of a sudden we're switching to money, it's because 1 Corinthians talks about money, and Brian brought out some of those verses, and later on in the series, I'm not going to preach on those because we've already covered them, but we wanted to talk about this because money does matter. And the way that we manage our wealth matters. And Brian did a great job opening up the series, talking about preparing yourself and having a plan, whether that's a budget or guarding your heart. And he did a great job of bringing out that series. How was your Sunday? What did you do? Were you here on Sunday?
I was
I
here.
thought you were.
Yeah, it was good. Rachel taught Sunday school,
Okay.
and so in the high school we've been going through a study on Psalms. It's been a pretty long study. Book of Psalms pretty long.
Pretty
So,
long.
we've been going through a study on that, and we went through, I believe it was 5 different Psalms, and they were all Messianic Psalms.
Yeah.
And so we were looking through, I can't remember all the numbers of the Psalms, but the various aspects that those Psalms reveal about Jesus's character and who he was as the Messiah. And that was really cool. I thought it was pretty good. We got some good discussion out of it, and then then I went into the sermon with Brian. And as for the rest of the Sunday, I went immediately into...
Oh, you had a lot going on Sunday. That's right.
I worked like 10 hours on Sunday.
Because we had our meeting right after.
Yeah, so we had our meeting right after service. So we had a lunch and then the elders meeting thing. And then right after that, I prepared for the high school boys small group that came. Then we met with that for a little while.
What grades are those? Is that high school? You say high school?
Yeah, high school boys small group.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that, we went straight into a progressive dinner that we have with the whole youth group.
Now, we're going to take a moment. We got time. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what that is and why you do it and how did it go?
What the progressive dinner?
Yeah, like what is it and why you do it?
So the progressive dinner is basically a dinner that is divvied up into different courses. We ended up, I guess it would technically be 4 courses.
And who is this for?
This was for our youth group.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, sorry. This is for the youth group.
Yeah.
We did it on Cinco de Mayo, the 5th of May. So we had Mexican food. We had appetizers, which we actually went to the Fincher's house. Okay. And Sandy did a great job hosting. And then we had soups and salads, which were hosted by Mike and Janine Mathis. And they did an incredible job with taco salad and taco soup there. And then we also had quesadillas. They were make your own quesadillas at Dale and Sue Samp's house.
That's fun.
They were so good. I ended up having 2, but I've heard reports that Anthony had at least 4 quesadillas. And another 3 burritos.
Absolutely.
Oh my!
Yeah. I can see that. I could totally see that. Yeah.
But it's a really, really fun way for the.
Is this the why? So tell us why.
Yes, this is the why.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm moving into.
You got you transition smoothly.
So why we do it is it's a really good way for the students to connect with one another, but also they're connecting with people in the congregation that they may not connect with either by being hosted in their house
and going to their homes.
Yeah. So in each place we go to somebody's house and then we go to the next one, and we divide it up by girls, middle school boys, and then all the high schoolers together. And so then we're just going to different places all the time, and it's really, really cool, especially to see the adults interacting with the youth connecting with themselves, and also talking with people that they probably wouldn't on a normal Sunday. Yeah. And it went really, really well. That's awesome. Then we had dessert here at Timberlake afterwards. So that was the 4th course.
That's awesome. So last year, we hosted a group. You hosted a group. Yeah. And I had fun. I thought it was a really cool thing. Yeah. There was some kids that I don't really get to interact with that you get to meet. And so if you're ever interested in hosting a group at your house, just talk to Rachel or Levi, and I'm sure, because you're probably going to do it again at some point.
Yeah. It went over really well.
That's awesome. So no wonder you were tired and slept through the tornado.
I was really that was 2 days ago.
The next night.
He's
I was still feeling it though.
Yeah, I bet.
Absolutely. How was your Sunday, Dawn?
It was very good. It was very good. Yeah, it was preparing for the leadership meeting. Partly we're getting the food ready, and it was good. Fiesta brought us the food.
They did great.
Good, so
our unofficial sponsor. If we can get sponsored by Fiesta, now that's the plan right there. That's the plan.
That would be great.
But I got a nap Sunday afternoon.
Okay,
so
you were good to go.
I didn't have a day like Levi's.
There you go. Well, I got to lead music, and that was fun. We had an acoustic set, which was different, and it was really good. And I enjoyed Brian's message, and listening to the comments afterwards in our small group on Sunday night. We actually just talked about I didn't have a plan, and I said, well, does anybody have a question or Bible verse that they want to talk about? And then someone was like, actually, I was reading, and I read something that didn't make sense to me about Jesus highlighting this shrewd servant, and he did these business dealings to get ahead, and he was honored. And so we ended up talking about money anyway, about using godly principles about finances and money always end up being better for you. There's a guy named Ron Blue who has the Ron Blue Institute, and he talks about how Christians know more about money than they probably realize, because biblical principles of finances, people in the world are realizing that works. It works when you follow biblical principles. So maybe you were encouraged to start a budget. Maybe you were encouraged just to think about how you use your wealth, mobility and margin, like he was talking about. whatever it was, I pray that it encouraged you. And if you missed that sermon, you can go to tlcc.church and catch up there, or on YouTube, or on our Facebook page, and you can catch up on Sunday sermons. Next week, this Sunday, we're going to do Mother's Day, and then the following week, we're going to get back to finishing out the Money Matters series. We've got 2 more sermons where we're going to talk about being on guard and being a good steward of what God has given us. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I don't love talking about money. It's one of those topics. Yeah. My small group was making fun of me because Brian has introduced a money series like every time. And it's like, I don't want to talk about it, but we need to, because it's
you could just make him preach the whole series.
I could do that. I could just say, Brian, just take it from me.
We did have somebody that came by the office yesterday and said that they hadn't wanted to bring their children Sunday because they thought they would not want to hear about money. And they went home. It was a grown child, went home and made up a budget that afternoon. And they're like, he loved the sermon. It was great.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And Brian and I were talking, like, sometimes we talk about finances in the realm of like ideas and philosophy and heart. And I'm like, I think this series needs to be very practical. Like, have a budget. Make sure you have margin in your budget. Like, be very practical. So that's the rest of the sermons are going to be very practical on how do we actually manage what God has given us. So, and some people do that naturally, and some of us don't. But I think it'll be good. Okay, let's get to the TLCC top three things you need to know going into this week. And the first one is the second Saturday of the month is coming up this Saturday, and we have our men's Bible study group that happens here at Timberlake at 7:30 in the morning. Now, if you're not an early riser on Saturdays, I understand, neither am I. But for me, starting off my weekend with a group of guys as we study God's Word together and pray for each other is always encouraging and always worth it for me. So if you're looking for a group of guys to be around, or you know someone who's like, hey, I just wish I had people to study with, that's happening on the second Saturday, which is this Saturday. Men's group happens at 7:30 a.m. And we're going to have a special treat that morning.
I was just going to say,
you want to say it?
To tell?
You go ahead.
Jessica said she would make cinnamon rolls.
Jessica Sabbats is making some cinnamon rolls for us.
Do not want to miss that.
Delicious. They're going to be so good. And the second thing is Mother's Day that we want to let you know about is coming up this Sunday. And we are doing something a little different for Mother's Day this year. We have a little gift that we'll give all of our ladies here at the church, but we're going to have a designated room back in the adult classroom area where there's going to be a section where just the adult ladies can go, and they're going to get a special treat, and there's going to be some special coffee there for you, and a time of fellowship and a time of just meeting with the other ladies. No agenda. I'm not going to be back there selling anything. We're not going to ask you for anything. There's going to be no babies back there, so you won't have to worry about the kids, just enjoying that time. So you'll be able to do that sometimes in the first service and second service, in between. When you come in, you'll receive an invitation to go back there. And we hope that it just will be a great way to start off your morning and know that you are loved and appreciated. Do you like Mother's Day? I've talked to some women who don't like it.
Not necessarily.
Now, what is it about it that...
I don't know. I think partly it's been pressure on my kids, and I told them this year, you don't have to buy me anything, because I know it's kind of stressful for them, who are mothers now themselves, to try to honor me, come spend time with me, buy a present, and then take care of their kids, and you almost feel a little guilt in taking up time.
Right. You don't want to do that. No. You don't want to make it harder on yourself and on somebody else.
Yeah.
Well... Get over it. Just take it.
That's right.
Do you like Mother? I'm just kidding. You don't get
My mom will actually be in town this week.
Yeah,
that's nice.
You get to actually have Mother's Day. You better
That's
get her
great.
something.
Yeah. Laura just talked to me yesterday. She's like, are you getting anything for your mom? It's like, I probably should.
Yeah. She's going to be here. You have no excuse.
I know,
now.
yeah.
Absolutely.
You can't just say, I'll give it to you in July.
Yeah, I'll give it to you later, Mom. I'll give it to you later. That's good. Well, anyway, so I hope that you, ladies, you can enjoy that. I hope you can look forward to that. And the final thing is just the different colleges and high school graduations that are happening. In particular, we want to highlight Central Christian College of the Bible's graduation, which happens on Friday at 6 p.m. And we have a graduate right here who will be actually graduating, and it can't come a moment too soon.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Do you have many assignments left, or are you like
I
coasting?
think I have like 6 assignments left.
Okay.
But most of them are small, so
You're coasting.
yeah. I'll have all day tomorrow to finish them, so I'll get them
Excellent.
done as quickly as possible.
Excellent.
Very good.
Well, that's what we wanted to highlight today. You probably have some graduates in your life that you know about, either kids or grandkids or friends, family friends that are graduating. And it's interesting. You probably feel this way. I feel this way. You're still too young. You don't feel this way. But the further away from graduation that you get, it happens every year, and you see these patterns emerge of like kids saying the same stuff and the same parties and the same situations. And so I just have a question that I asked Dawn and Levi, and I'd like to answer as well, is what advice did you wish someone would have given you when you graduated? I mean, you're so full of like, and this, I'm excited for his answer. You're so full of like anticipation. You're so full of like excitement and like all these things that you want to do, and maybe a little bit of nervousness, or maybe just like Levi's feeling right now is like, I just can't wait till it's over. And then you go into the next phase, and everybody has a different reaction. And I know I was talking to Walt Harper about this. He's going to be your commencement speaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so he's been thinking through this as well. And I'm curious to know how you would answer as well, those of you who are watching. Maybe you can post in the comments, like, what advice or what would you have wished someone had said to you when you graduated? So, Dawn, I'm going to start with you,
Okay.
if that's all right. You're like,
That's okay. No, that's all right.
what would you wish?
I think I felt a lot of pressure when I graduated from high school, especially, maybe more so from college, to have my future already lined out, to know this is what I want to do for a living. This is how I'm going to live my life. And you don't have to do that, because I have switched things up multiple times over my life. So you have time to make those big. I'm not saying don't make any decisions, but you don't have to have it all decided when you graduate. You have time, and you might totally change your mind later in life. And
almost like who you are matters more than what you're doing,
I think
or
so.
what you will do.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's partly what I was thinking is I kind of had two things, is who you are matters more than what you'll do. What you do matters, but what you do might change. I mean,
Right.
I'm trying to think of people that I graduated with in high school and in college. How many of them have switched careers? How many of them are doing things that they never thought they'd do? But who you are stays with you.
Right.
And that character and that who you are, in developing your personality, the things that you love, the things that you do, the habits that form your life, matters a lot. And if I wish someone would have told me, like, who what you're doing will change, and I think we always question, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care how old you are, like
Right.
everybody's asking that question.
Yeah.
And it's good to ask that question. But if you know who you are and you have the habits that form your character, that will see you through no matter what. And the second thing for me was just to have fun. Like, really, I know it for you right now. Like, you're just like, I wanted to be done. I want to move on. But I think back to some of those seasons where I wish I would have enjoyed them a little bit more. My wife and I, we talk about with our kids, like, we want to enjoy the season so much that we won't miss it when it's gone. Like, of course we'll okay, that's a bad way to say it. Like,
No, I know
we're gonna
what you're
miss
saying.
it, but like, we've
Yeah.
appreciated it so much, and we've
Yeah.
enjoyed it, and we were present,
Yes.
and we had so much fun that like we
You
got
don't
out
have
of it as
regrets.
much as we could. Yeah, we don't have regrets.
Right.
That's a good way. Of course we'll miss it.
Yeah.
But-
Because I remember thinking, I'm going to savor every minute, and that'll make it go slower, and it doesn't. It
No,
still
no.
goes fast, and
Never
you
gonna.
still miss it.
Yeah.
But you won't regret.
Right. That's the key. That's the key.
Yeah.
So have fun and don't regret. But also remember, character matters more than just the things you're doing. Okay, now for our graduate. I'm going to change yours a little bit.
Okay.
You can answer the question, but
All right.
has there been something that someone said already that has stuck with you?
I actually haven't had many people talk to me. More just like, are you ready to be done?
He has no friends. Nobody talks to him.
It's really true. It's really true. Well, I mean, part of it is I never lived on campus. I've been a commuter student all through all 4 years.
You're those non-traditional students.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. Anyway, that's a little bit different, but anyway, non-traditional is older, but yeah,
Just saying.
commuter student. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You were wrong.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't really had that many people talk to me or try to give me advice or anything. I'm perfectly open to it, but
Everybody on Sunday, give him advice.
yeah, all Sunday long. Anyway, I actually talked about this a little bit at the chapel, last Thrive Chapel at Central last week. I think I talked a little bit about like Jesus talking about building your foundation on the rock versus on the sand. And what you do while you're at college matters for who you are after college.
Yeah.
And one of the things I went through that because it was something that, like, as I was sitting there reflecting, it's something that I needed to know, but I was hoping that a lot of people else would take some out of it too. And I got a lot of good feedback from it. But while you're there at college, which especially being a Bible college, but while you're there, focusing on the content is great, but let the content shape who you're going to be. And so that's what's going to help your foundation in who you are last well after you're gone from college. And that way, whenever you leave, you're fully prepared to move forward and not just stuck or wondering, okay, who am I going to be? Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? You already have developed who you are by the time you leave.
Yeah, I think that's hard for a lot of college students because the pervasive thought is, I've got time. I've got time to finish that assignment. I've got time to do that. I've got time to figure out who I am later on.
Yeah.
And you don't realize the stuff that you do is shaping you. So that's really good. That's really good advice. So Sunday, make sure you come up to Levi and give him unsolicited advice about what he should be focused on and doing. So when you write out your cards for graduations, when you go to those graduation parties, when you talk to the seniors who are excited, think about, what do you wish someone would have told you? And maybe some of you have some negative things, like someone told me this and it was completely wrong. But maybe you have positive examples too. If someone gave me this advice and it had helped me so much, think about what you can pass along. What did people say to you, or what do you wish someone would have said to you that could have helped you a lot? And be encouraging, because it is an exciting time as graduates transition either out of high school into college or college into adulthood. And we need the encouragement of people around us. We really do. And I pray that you will be an encouragement to the people around you who are in that season. You want to say anything else about graduates? Did you have a fun graduation party?
Boy, I don't know that I had a graduation party. I don't even remember.
We need to have a graduation party for you.
I don't know.
My college graduation was at the hotel in Moberly. What's the hotel here? The One Hotel.
The one that shut down, or the one that's still in business?
The one that's still in business.
I believe it.
Comfort
Inn now. It was a Holiday Inn.
It was in the lobby, and we got some pizza, and that was and we had like, my nephew had like Nerf guns, and we shot each other. That's all I really remember. And my high school one, I think we had a picnic, and that was fun. We had a big picnic with everybody.
The day after I graduated from high school, I moved out of my house into the dorm at the college because I started traveling with a camp team.
Oh my goodness!
Like the very next day.
Boom,
so
boom.
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I think it was just kind of busy right then.
Wow.
But
Wow. It's
my
an
mom
exciting
may
season.
say, I had a big party for you, don't you remember? And I don't remember. So, it's been a long time.
Oh man, well, good. All right, well, we're so glad that you've joined us this episode. We're going to give you the blessing of the week here in a moment, but I just wanted to explain something that you may have noticed in the video that you're like, what in the world is that all about? Levi and I have these little things hooked up, and no, we're not diabetics, not yet. We, on Sunday, because it's Mother's Day, in honor of Mother's Day, I wanted to give the announcements for Sunday, but I wanted to do it with a device that could simulate contractions. Because I'm so dumb.
Yeah.
I am.
You're a glutton for punishment.
I'm a glutton
Yes,
for
he
punishment.
is.
And you've seen those videos where the guys go in and they do the contractions and it's like they're yelling and screaming. So I'm like, I want to try to do that, but I want to do it live. Like I don't want to do it. So someone hooked us up with these devices that will send pulses to pads that are hooked up, and I convinced Levi to. I didn't have to convince him. He volunteered. Voluntold. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
So we both have these pads hooked up to us, and so I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to try to give you the blessing of the week. And I've already tried this a little bit.
I'm
These.
gonna see how high this goes.
Oh my goodness, you're up to 15. All right, so mine. Oh. All right, so I don't know how I'm going to do this on Sunday. Ow!
I'm at 20.
Turn it down.
I got to turn it down. Oh my goodness.
I have mine at 20.
Oh my goodness.
Does it go higher?
That was
Ooh,
too
it does
much.
Go higher.
That hurt so much. Okay, I'm going to try this. All right. So in 1 Corinthians 15, chapter 5, Paul says that your boasting is not good. Do you not know that a little leaven... Oh!
Try this at home.
A little leaven leavens the whole lump. Oh! Cleanse out the old leaven that you might don't you dare. As unleavened, for as Christ leavened. Oh, I can't even read this. At the very end, it says, "Purge out the evil person among you." Oh, and sometimes the evil person is us because we want selfish things. And so the idea is, don't boast in yourself, but trust in the Lord. We love you. Have a great week. We'll see you Sunday. Line the center of the electrode first and smoothing down the electrode edges. Well, are these for you or for me?
Those.
Stop recording. Ow!
I'm at 20.
Turn it down.
I got turned down.
This one's super.
Did you turn it off?
No, not yet.
Yours is slow building.
Yeah.
This is immediate.
It's just like.
Awesome. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't realize how terrible that would be.